So Sunday afternoon, bit of DIY work in the kitchen. We're using quite a lot of pushing cages this week because basically I've got a whole bunch of queens to get in. The last 25 to get in that I harvested the other day, and I've got them in and get them in quickly. But the problem is the colonies I'm putting them in, well the nucs I'm putting them in have only just been made, so they haven't been queenless for long enough to accept them in a cage with a candy plug. So I do not want to lose these queens because we're getting towards the end of the season now and I haven't got time to make any more. So what I'm doing is, as I make up a nuc, I'm finding a frame of brood that's emerging, and I'm putting these cages on top of that emerging brood and putting the queen underneath that. So the queen is going to be protected for the first few days until the bees within the colony change their manner, and then they become more used to her, and then they'll accept her. The nurse bees that are obviously born under this cage are going to only know that queen. They're going to love her and care for her, and she'll come into lay, and then boom, everything is sweet and fine and dandy in the hive again. But it's knowing when to use these is the key. But I have no choice now, so what I'm going to do is quickly knock up a couple for you. This is my 1-inch hardware cloth. It's got 8 squares per inch. That's obviously the American imperial size. But these are the kind of size that's about, well, when it's finished, end up about, so it's probably 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters. That's the smallest you want to have. And I've used these, and even the small ones work fine, providing the queen's got room to lay. Otherwise, she'll end up laying 4 or 5 eggs per cell. It doesn't really matter, but it's just nice if she can lay evenly and feel she's got room. Because obviously you want to get the balance of emerging brood and space for the queen to lay, and not too much honey, but also you must have some honey. That's the thing. What I found recently is, in a lot of my colonies, trying to find a frame just right is difficult because there's not a lot of nectar anymore. And these bees are so prolific still. They're laying so much. There's so much brood, but at the top of the brood, there is no honey at all. So you've got to be very wary of that. Even if you find a bit, that's enough. So I'm going to knock up a couple of these by cutting them out with my best gardening secateurs. These are excellent for cutting hardware cloth. If you have a partner who cherishes them, better get yourself some decent metal cutters, because if you're caught using these, I'm sure it'll be for the high jump. So I basically cut these longitudinally. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares across, and I cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares up. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 squares up. Same this side. Turn it around. Do the opposite end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's pretty easy, that bit. So we've got corners here now. Okay, there's the corners you can see. So what I do is I put this flat on the table where the cut finishes. I bend it up like that. And if you can see that, that's one end bent up. Do the other side. You know that you're going to be going along the line of the 6th one. So there's the 2. There's the 2 bent up like that. And then you do the end pieces. And there you have it. Okay, so you just hold it tight, keep it vertical. You sometimes have to straighten the fold a bit and just fold that over. And just bend it a bit with your finger. It doesn't matter if it sticks out, even if that's stuck out. Because when you push it into the wax, it will embed in wherever it goes and it actually stabilizes the whole thing. But it's best to have it really neat and vertical so that when you push it in, the metal doesn't bend. This is actually quite fine, this metal. It is the hardware cloth from America that I was given by a friend, Zach. I've still got some, thank you very much. I'm still saying thank you to you for all this time because you sent me so much and I've got enough to make spare pushing cages for this summer too, even though I've already used 30 so far this year. So there you go. That's the cage made. Very simple, very effective. You just put it on over your emerging brood with nectar somewhere in there and on the emerging brood. And as long as she's got space to lay, it usually is like a foolproof way. But you must make sure that it's pushed in well, because sometimes you can push it in and the bees will get underneath. Now they won't always kill her, but if they get under too early, they could well kill her. And you don't want that. Not this time of year. It's too late to be messing around now. You've got to get queens in quickly and get things done properly. There you go. Pretty simple to do. Have a good afternoon.